Hi guys, Kim here. Welcome to Backyard Blooms. In today's episode, we are going to do a Come Garden With Me episode. So I've got several things on my list today. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to get done, but I know number one is that I have an aqua pot in the very back of the backyard that we're going to get planted up. I'm going to tell you what the aqua pot is, why you might want an aqua pot versus just a regular container, and the inside of the aqua pot, and then we're going to plant a fall container. So I've got some Proven Winners Prairie Winds grass right here that we're going to plant up. I have some lovely kale, does not scream fall, and I've got some beautiful violas that we're going to put in that container, and I've got a couple of other ornamental peppers too. So we're going to do that. So that's number one. And then I'm going to talk about what I put on my grass here in September. So this is the time to take care of those pesky little Japanese beetles. If you had those all over your roses and you're like, I do not want this, this was such a nuisance to handle, then this is the time to start putting down your milky spores. So I'll have all those links in my description about the milky spores. It's time to put down the Anderson's Pre-emergent, and then I put down stuff to treat for the fall armyworms. So I have all that we're going to talk about. So we're going to do a fall container, we're going to talk about grass, and then I have this lovely pink coreopsis that the bees are loving right now. You can see on one right there that's on this bloom here. I don't know if you can see that. You can see it buzzing around. Can you see? Well, anyways, I planted this pink coreopsis last year, and of course we had that big Arctic episode that came through this winter, and we normally here in Charlotte, North Carolina, Zone 8, don't have that Arctic freeze like we did this past year. But however, some of the new perennials that I put into the garden didn't make it, and this pink coreopsis was one of them, and I love this plant. Like, look how beautiful that is. Do you see that bee right there? Love it. I love these. So anyways, we're going to get this planted in the ground, and then I have all kinds of different plants that I went to Creekside this past Saturday and bought, and I met one of the persons that has subscribed to my channel too, and she ran into me and she's like, oh my gosh, I know you, and I wish I took a picture with her, and I do not remember your name, but I do remember your face, and thank you so much for watching my videos, and thank all of you guys for watching my videos as well. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share my videos. It helps me out a lot. It's free to do that, and it just sends out the YouTube logarithm, helps me and it helps my channel, and I get paid more and I can put out more videos for you if I have more time to do this. So anyways, let's get gardening. This right here is the aqua pot that I'm going to refresh with fall plants. So I have some perennials and some annuals that I'm going to throw in there as well. So I'm going to use my Velcro 2 pruners to cut back all this tall queen tut grass, and then I have my hoary knife because I'm sure that everything in here is going to be really root bound all the way down to where all the soil is. This bottom part right here has a water reservoir, which I'll show you after I get it all cleaned out, and then but yeah, I'm sure everything's going to be really root bound because that is what you get when you have really happy plants. So we're going to get this all cleaned out, and then I'm going to come back and show you what the aqua pot looks like inside, and then we're going to put new fresh soil from Proven Winners soil and the new plants, and then yeah, then we're going to carry on to our next little adventure. I think we're going to do the Beyond Pink'd coreopsis. I have a pop-up bag here that I'm going to put all this stuff in. Just cutting this all the way back because I just don't feel like that I can dump my container over and everything come out easy. This was my tags from before. I had the Super Tunia Mini Vista White in there. Yeah, so looking at this, I don't think I'm going to be able to salvage anything. So I'm just gonna dump it over and see if I can get it out. I'm probably gonna have to cut it out with my hoary knife. Hey, baby girl. Hi. Hi, love. So you can see Sasha girl's out here helping me. So this is probably the messiest part, is just getting all these roots out. So I'm just going to start at the side and just start cutting. I'm not going to worry about all this loose soil right here because I could either pick it up or, you know, this soil is not going to be bad for the sod either. Eventually I'll pull it out. Now this is my water reservoir that you put the water in right here. So it's not really bad rooted in, but you can tell like there's no fresh dirt that you're going to be able to keep from this. You're not going to be able to keep any of this. So we're just going to put this in my pop-up bag and get some of this soil cleaned up. I'm not going to use any of this soil because it's used all of its nutrients. We're going to start fresh with fresh soil and fresh nutrients. This is what the center of the Aqua Pot looks like right here. And you can see, like, I had problems filling this with water, and it just didn't. There's a drain hole here, and whenever it fills, it's supposed to come out the drain hole, and for some reason it didn't. It did early on, but later on in the season it didn't. So you can see that it's just completely all full right in there. We're gonna get this rinsed off and all cleaned up before we put it back in. That's what it looks like. You can actually buy these inserts. Now, when I bought these Aqua Pots before, I could not buy the insert, but now they have an insert for them as well. So you can look that up online. It's on the Proven Winners website. So this is what the Aqua Pot looks like. Inside it's just like terracotta, but it's glazed with this real pretty cobalt blue. So then inside you can see there's a rim. You can see this rim right there. That rim holds the insert. So the insert will just go right in and will go right onto that rim, just like so. We'll just kind of straighten it up a little bit. And then the dirt will go in here and then fill all around in here too. And then it's got this tube right here. So you want this more of an angle part go right into that slot right there. And you want this right here to be on the end. And this is where your water is going to go in. That's how you water it. So dirt in there, dirt all around in here. Water's going to fill in here. That bottom part right there the water will absorb through the soil and then you're going to water from below, right? So your plants aren't getting any kind of overhead water. And then it's got a drain hole right here, and you cannot overfill. So if you overfill it, it's just going to pour out right here. So it's kind of fail proof, right? So we are going to fill this with the proven winter soil, and then we're going to get our fall containers in. Yay! All right, so this is what our proven winter soil looks like right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and place this pot kind of like where I want it, right? So I like to have this showing if I can, because why not? Why would you not want your little emblem to show? And then I like for the drain spot to be somewhere towards the back right here. And I like this to be close to where the drain hole is, because if I'm watering, I like to be able to look out the drain hole to be able to see if it's full or not. That's how I know it's full, is when it starts to drain. I'm getting it in there just like I want it. Here's my water spout. Here's my drain hole. I'm able to see the pretty name on the pot there. Now we're just going to fill it up with soil. Now I'm trying to push it down in that middle down there. It will all settle eventually, to be honest. I like this soil because it's nice and fluffy and it drains really, really well. And you can actually buy this on Amazon and have it delivered right to your home. And you can also order it on Home Depot, and then some of the nurseries have it too. Creekside Nursery has it if you're local there, and whatever. There's another nursery in Charlotte that has it too, but I'm not gonna lie, it's harder to find, so it's easier to find online. But I do love this soil more than any other soil that I've ever found. So we're gonna start with this Desert Plain Prairie Winds. It's just a grass. I love the little fall foliage on it here. It's got a little bit of tinge of purple on there. So I think I'm going to put that right middle in the center. You can see it's a little bit root bound right here. Now this is a perennial. So you can see how really root bound this is. So I'm kind of glad this happened. So this is like a good little tutorial and a good tip for us. So since it is so root bound, we're going to take our pruners, our Felco 2 pruners, and just cut some of this off, because we want these roots to start to spread out and not like grow round and round like it has in this pot. We're just going to cut these off. You can just like cut like that into it too as well if you don't want to have to take all these off. Just kind of break it up. It's probably pretty aggressive with it right there. I'm just going to take some of it off. You can put this right in the middle of your pot if you're going to see it all the way around. But if it's going to be up against the house, like maybe like this one, then I might want to just put this one all the way here towards the back. Like I said, this is a perennial for me. So when I'm done here in the fall, I can plant this out again into my landscape. All right, and the next fall plant that I'm going to put in here is kale. This is called Miss America, and it has like a gorgeous purple hue to it. So a dark black purplish hue. And like I said, this is an annual and it is edible, so you can always use your cabbages and kale and anything like that that's a fall vegetable into your garden. This is called Ms. America, M-I-Z America, decorative leaves with a mild flavor, popular for use in Asian cuisine. Ms. America. Actually, oh, it's a mustard. Did not know that. I was thinking it was a kale. It's a mustard. You can see that it's kind of root bound too, so I'm just going to take some of these roots off right here as well. And where do I put this one? Let's stick it over this way. You don't have to put everything up and down. I'm gonna like lay this on its center, and it is really close to this plant over here, but that's okay because we're planting in the fall and you just want it to look pretty for the fall. It's not really gonna grow that much. So we're putting it on its side. Now this next plant is the Rudbeckia. I use the biggest part of this into my other container that's in my very front garden, that I saved a little piece for this one as well. And I'm going to put it right here. I have two violas that I can use. This one's got a little bit of a yellow hue to it, and I think they're both about the same though. Aren't they pretty? But I think I'm really just going to need one in there. I'm just going to put one. I think I'm going to use the yellow since I have this yellow from the Rudbeckia. And actually, I don't know if you could see this. There's more than one plant in here. I could probably, some soil coming off. I could probably break this up into 3 different plants if I want, but I don't want to do that. But there's probably at least 3 plants in this little container right here. Feel free to break some of the soil off this too. You don't have to put all the soil that's in the container because you got soil right here as well. So let's put this one right up here. And I'm going to put that one not on its side, but a little bit towards an angle there. And then next I have my ornamental peppers. I have the yellow one. I put this in my front container as well, and I got a video coming out about that, so make sure you watch that. This one is called Aqua Pot Yellow, right there. And this will probably not make like a frost, but we shouldn't get any frost here until, I'm gonna say, I think last year was the end of November. And I'm just gonna take some of this roots off just like so. I'm not gonna kill the plant. And this one don't want to come off. Very easy. And I'm going to put that right here in the middle. Just dig a hole, pop it down in the middle there. And then the next plant is another ornamental pepper too. This one is called Hot Pops Purple, and it's got orange and purple on it. And this one will go more up here towards the front. And I am forcefully popping it down in there, but not hurting the plant either. And then I have one last plant that I'm going to put in here. This is the ornamental oregano called Kent Beauty. This is a great ground cover, and I'll be able to use this again into my garden as well. All right, so this is what we're looking at. So there is our mustard, not kale, which I thought it was. It is a mustard. And then our beautiful pansy, the prairie grass. We have the peppers, ornamental peppers, both kinds back there, the Rudbeckia and the oregano. So I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 small plants in here in this one container. So that's all that I'm gonna do next is that I'm gonna come with my water hose and I'm gonna fill this reservoir until, where's my hole? This drain hose starts coming out right there. And then, so when it was 90 degrees, I probably would have had to fill this at least once a week, but now that I'm getting into the 80 degrees, maybe I can go twice a week, but we'll see. You know when your plants start looking droopy that they're not getting water, right? So the day that they are droopy, water them, because the second day you might be resentful. So it's September and it's almost fall. So I have 3 products that I'm gonna put on the grass for this fall. So for those grubs that turn into those Japanese beetles, we wanna treat the ground with these milky spores. This is the first time that I'm putting this down, but everybody's told me to put down this product because it really does battle really well for those Japanese beetles. And the Japanese beetles will, there's the cycle, they will lay eggs. So one beetle can lay like 60 eggs into the ground, and then they turn into grubs. So then the grubs will come out in June and turn into beetles, and that's what's all over top of your roses and Rose of Sharon's and hibiscus and whatever else. They just destroy your flowers, your pretty blooms. So anyways, we're gonna treat, and the fall is the time to put down milky spores. So I have the St. Gabriel Organics, and I'll link every link in below into the description. So when you go into my description and you see the description of my title, you'll hit more, and then I will list all the links that are pertaining to that video, and I will also link everything that I use for my garden as well, as long as I have room for everything. So anyways, milky spores, and this is organic, and that's what I'm gonna put down to battle the grubs. And then we were looking on the Superside website, and I usually put this down a little bit later, but they said for warm grass, for Bermuda and Zoysia, any kind of warm grass, that it's time now to go ahead and put down your pre-emergent. So I like the Andersons, and of course this is pre-emergent right here. My husband's already put this out, that's why the bag is empty. And then I'll show you how he spreads it as well. So Andersons for pre-emergent, and I also put this down a couple times a year. So I like to do it now, and then I would like to do it in December or January. And then the very last option, if you haven't put it out yet, would be March. But now is the time to battle weeds. So think about that now. So there's that product. And then the next product is the Duicide. The Duicide I put out in the springtime to battle grubs as well. But for the fall, we want to do the fall armyworms. So those little caterpillars that you see, and they can destroy your grass as well. So for the fall, we're putting down the Duicide. This is also from Anderson's, and this will battle the fall armyworms. Just like always, I do my planting always the same way every single time. I have my power planter auger here. This is my 3-inch auger. I have a bigger container, but I can just make several holes with this auger right here, and then I just kind of twirl it around to make a bigger hole. So I'm going to show you how I do that today. And then of course I have my biotone, and I have my land and sea compost. I try to throw a couple of handfuls of compost into each hole. That's how I amend my soil slowly as I go here in Charlotte, North Carolina, Zone 8, because I have that heavy clay, and I have my biotone. So I'm going to get this hole dug, and then we're going to plant the Beyond Pink coreopsis. Look guys, I'm still digging up landscape fabric. Do not do that. Save yourself some heartache and do not plant it. Do not put it down. I guess you're not planting it. Where I'm going to put this Beyond Pink coreopsis. I had this about in the same location as last year. Of course, I told you with the Arctic winter blast, like it didn't make it. So I'm really hoping that this one makes it. I just love this plant. And if this gets any bigger, then I'm just gonna like cut it back a little bit. I'm really good in my garden trying to keep things, you know, trimmed back. So if you're not like that, then you might not want to put this plant so close to that tree, but I think I'm gonna be fine. I actually been wanting to limb these up a little bit more anyways, so I can start planting some shade-loving plants underneath there as well. So I have a pretty good sized container right here, and I dug my hole pretty decent, but I'm gonna go ahead and remove this plant from this pot, and then I'm gonna put some of this soil right here that I've already made real fine from my auger, and then I'll put it back in the pot, and then I'll plant it, and then I'll use this to backfill. So for a container like this, you just might wanna just put some pressure all the way around. And of course the bees are like really loving this plant, and they're like buzzing around me as you can see. And you want to be really careful with this because this does break very easy. It's very tender. I already got one of them that's already broke. Sasha, you're in my camera. Move. Come on. And you can see she likes the bees too. She's trying to help Mama. And I have a grub. That's why you gotta start putting out stuff for grubs right now. In this video, I just talked about grubs. Actually, this is a very good opportunity to show you what a grub looks like. Right there. I hope that you can see that because I have the camera turned away from me. But that is what the nasty little grubs look like that's gonna turn into a Japanese beetle right there. So yes, I'm gonna squish it. Ah. Like I said, I'm just taking some of this dirt out right here, and I'm going to use this to backfill, and I may, depending on how deep that is, I might have to dig a little bit more. I do have some roots in here. I don't know what these roots are from. No idea. Still pulling up landscape fabric, still. This must be probably from I had some of these planted, these Wadulas right here that we dug up, and that still might be part of that root system right there. You can see how tender this is. It's already broke. Now the key to this is not to plant this too deep. We have the clay soil, so you do not want to plant this even with the ground. You want this about 1 inch to 1.5 inches above the ground. So I want to show you. I want this root ball right here above the ground. So this is my soil level. Let me show you. That's my soil level right there. So that might be just a tad too deep. Or not, I'm sorry. We need it just a little bit deeper right here. So maybe to about right there is where I want to plant this, because I want this to drain well. I want to be able to mound it up, and I want to be able to have water drain away from this. And you never want to dig your hole and replace it with nothing but like your compost or potting soil. Don't ever do that, because you'll be really sorry. And then that's all you're doing is creating a water bath. So what I like to do is use 80% of my original soil, and then about, like I said, 20% of some other type of compost. So again, I'm gonna get my auger out here, go a little deeper. Let's try it again. I think I'm gonna put this in the prettiest location that I can see it. Let's see. So where you could see there's my soil level. I don't know if you guys could see that right there. Let me bring it closer. So this is my soil level right here. So if I take my hand and scoop it right over here, you can see that I'm about 1 inch or so right above that soil level. So that's what I want to do. I want to bring it up from the ground so it will be able to drain. Do you see this right here? Especially with the clay soil. If you got really good fertile soil, it might be just a little bit different, but clay holds on to that moisture really well, and your plants need to drain away. And like I said, do not completely fill your hole with some other kind of just all soil or compost. You want to use 80% of this original clay that I have in here. Oh, did you see that? This means I got really good fertile soil right now. All right, so we're gonna get this right here backfilled with all that dirt that's right there in that pot. I'm gonna use all of that. And then I am gonna take this out of the hole and put some biotone in there. And I will probably put just a couple of handfuls of the Land and Sea, and then backfill it with that dirt right there. So I hope you guys can see what I'm trying to do right here. There's a little bit of biotone in here. Actually, I'm just going to put it around the plant. I don't have much in there, so I'm going to go ahead and use all of that. But that's what that biotone looks like right there. Let's see, I think I'm going to bring this up just a little bit so I can get some underneath those roots. And let's see. This right here is my Land and Sea compost. I like to use this if I can get my hands onto this, or I like to use either Black Cow works well for me. I can always buy that at Lowe's. And then mushroom compost is really good too. Let me know if you have a compost that you really, really love. So I'm gonna try to position this plant in the most attractive location that I can. I think I'm gonna do it right here. You can see I bought this from Creekside, and Jenny has all those pines, so you can see that I have all these pine needles on here. I was teasing Jerry when he was putting this in the car for me at Creekside not to break these for me. I was going to tease him on video. All right, so I do have right here a foxglove. I'm going to keep that right there. Like I said, this is my land and sea right here. I'm going to move that out of the way. I will still top dress that with that too though. And then I'm going to grab this heavy container right here and we're going to just dump this soil all the way back around it. I'm trying to be really, really careful. This is one of my favorite plants that I wanted last year. And like I said, I was super excited about it, but it didn't work out for me last year. And this one right here, I think is about ready to fall off too. So you can see that I have all my soil there, and then I'm gently going to take my foot and just tap it down all the way around just to get those air pockets out. And I am trying to be very gentle. Brian, be gentle. All right. This one fell off too. All right, now that I have my plant planted, I'm going to take some of this compost right here and I'm just going to top dress it. This will give my soil some extra nutrients. It'll get the plant some extra nutrients, and then it helps my soil out too. Have much mulch to pull back up over here. I might need to go grab another bag of mulch at some point. Alright, so now that I've got this planted in and I'm happy with it, then I need to come back and water it in really well too. And that's it. That's my secret. That's how I get everything in my garden looking really, really pretty. I use this biotone. I use this organic land and sea. I plant my plants up a little higher above soil level. Put mulch back around it. Make sure you're getting the air pockets out. Yeah, that's all I can think about. And I use my auger. Course. All right guys, we're going to end this video right here. We got the Aqua Pot all planted up with all those beautiful fall plants. And one reason that you would want the Aqua Pot would be if you have a hard time watering plants and you can't get to it, or if you can only get to it once a week, or if you work full time, that is a great choice for you. I have mine in an area that I do not have accessible to drip, so that works well for me. And I do think plants really like being watered up from below more than overhead. And I think that's why my garden does really well with drip. But I have lots and lots of videos about drip, so make sure you look at all that. And we talked about grass, putting down the milky spores. This is my first time putting down milky spores. So we'll see like over time how well that does to combat those. You've got to put it down 3 times a year, and you got to do it for 2 full years. And I just showed you what that grub looks like. I think they're disgusting. Anyways, now that you know, you see it while you're planting, at least you know what a grub looks like. And then we got that coreopsis in the ground too. So I hope that me showing you how I plant and how I amend my soil a little bit as I go helps you a lot. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.